Federal government further reduces pump price of petrol as coronavirus continues to hit hard. And as the lockdown continues in parts of the country, Debt Management Office suspends saving bond offer for April 2020. Also on the program, investors on the Nigerian Stock Exchange lose 2.3 trillion naira in 1 month. This is Business Express reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. The federal government, through the Petroleum Product Pricing Regulatory Agency, PPRA, has reduced the price of petrol from 125 naira per litre to 123 naira 50 kobo per litre. Current petrol price indicates a reduction of 1 naira 50 kobo on every litre of petrol purchased nationwide. It announced the reduction in a statement on Tuesday night after a whole-day meeting with stakeholders in the oil and gas sector in Abuja. The guiding price, which becomes effective 1st April 2020, shall apply at all retail outlets nationwide for the month of April 2020. The statement added that PPPRA and other relevant regulatory agencies will continue to monitor compliance to extant regulations for a sustainable downstream petroleum sector. On March 19, 2020, a day after the federal government announced the pump price of 125 naira per litre for petrol, the PPRA declared that there was the possibility of a new price regime for the PMS beginning April 1st, 2020. And as the impact of coronavirus rages on, the Debt Management Office, DMO, has suspended the federal government saving bond offer for the month of April 2020, which was scheduled for the 6th to 10th of April 2020. The DMO, in a statement, assures the general public that the savings bond offers will resume when the conditions caused by the coronavirus pandemic changes. The DMO says the suspension of the April 2020 offer will not affect coupons payment due to investors for already issued FGN securities, as arrangements have been made to ensure that all coupon payments for and redemption of FGN securities are made as at when due to investors' designated accounts. The Naira exchanged for 412 to a dollar on Tuesday at the Bureau de Change segment of the market. This followed a temporary suspension of sale of Forex to the Bureau de Change operators in the industry by the Central Bank of Nigeria. The CBN granted BDCs 2 weeks market holidays as requested, given the ongoing challenges faced in the local and global economies due to the impact of the coronavirus pandemic. Let's see how the Naira is now exchanging for major currencies. Meanwhile, latest data on electronic payment channels in the Nigerian banking sector reveals that a total of 893.6 million transactions valued at 48.54 trillion naira were recorded in the fourth quarter of 2019. Instant payments transactions dominated volume of transactions recorded as 342.6 million instant payment transactions valued at 29.69 trillion naira were recorded in the fourth quarter of 2019. In terms of credit to private sector, the total value of credit allotted by the bank stood at 17.19 trillion naira. Oil and gas manufacturing sectors got credit allocation for 3.42 trillion naira and 2.62 trillion naira to record the highest credit allocation in the period under review. As at the fourth quarter 2019, the total number of bank staff increased by 2.14% quarter-on-quarter from 101,435,000 in the third quarter of 2019 to 103,610. As the lockdown enters Day 2 Business Express, we will be looking at different aspects of life which have to do with business and the economy. We begin with a visit to a part of Garki in Abuja, where daily consumables like vegetables are available, but no customers to buy. Benny Adams was there.
A marketplace is never complete without the usual hustle and bustle where you see customers trying to bid down prices of commodities and the sellers also trying to pinch some little profit from the transaction. But this is not to be, particularly at this Area 11 market. This place used to be a beehive of activities where even the space to park your car it's not available. But today it is a shadow of itself. That is to say, the lockdown order in FCT is for real. Come with me, let's get to that shop where I see one or two customers trying to make one or two purchases. In here is a provision store where I can see some household beverages being sold, and I have two customers here ready to make transactions. Alaji, what are you buying?
No, I just want to buy something they call, it's just like
Kunun
Amia.
Okay.
Which I've exhausted the one I have, so I came to repurchase another one.
Everywhere shut down for FCT inside town here. Even yesterday, I find out to buy vegetable, to find something to eat. It was not easy, but I thank God today, this small shop is open for me to get matches and go and prepare my food so that I can survive. But I thank God the government is doing well.
Commodities like vegetables, yam, cooking oils and meat are available, but with very low patronage.
No money to buy plenty meat, now small meat.
The low patronage seemed not to deter Abdullahi and his business partners, who continue to make available fresh commodities in anticipation for better patronage. Food vendors are not left out of the transaction as they anticipate patronage from workers on essential service.
Some of you guys don't have time to prepare food at home, so they can just run out here and see if they have something. So it's not much for me to disappoint them, because some of them put me on calls, say, how far are you guys doing? I say, I'm fine, I'll prepare some few things for you guys. So that's why I'm here also.
As the lockdown enters Day 2, with 12 days to go, restocking of commodities are expected, as well as the push and pull effects of demand and supply expected.
And Lydia Sampson was at some filling stations to find out the level of compliance with federal government's directive.
A drive around the Abuja metropolis reveals that most petrol stations are open for business, mostly patronized by essential service providers.
It makes the work easy for us. Yes, when we are sure that we can access petrol, the movement becomes easy for us.
So some customer that came, some of them doctors, all those task force.
On hand to monitor and ensure enforcement, the Department of Petroleum Resources was at some filling stations where the managers say they have adequate petroleum products to discharge.
What is your opening stock this morning?
We open with 33,000 liters.
33,000 liters?
Yes, sir.
And you are still discharging?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I have enough product. I even still have one truck standing by. I have a product.
Different strokes for different folks, it appears. While some commend the lockdown, this station manager is bothered about how it may be hindering his staff from reporting for duty.
We are having some of the security men on the roads, when you show them your ID card, you are going to a filling station, you are working in a filling station, they say no, the federal government did not approve filling station. I said they approve it. You can even listen, when you listen to the broadcast of the president, everybody here when president basically measuring filling station.
The Department of Petroleum Resources nonetheless says it will not hesitate to seal petrol stations violating the presidential order to open for business or those hoarding.
So we should not do panic buying of any kind. There is availability of the product. Depot are working, the sales is ongoing, so there is no cause for alarm. We go everywhere. We have people on standby. We have surveillance team on standby. If we have any call, they have our numbers on our website. So if we have any call, we dispatch people to anywhere.
President of Petroleum Tanker Drivers Salimon Oladiti, in a phone interview with NTA News, says their members will work 24 hours throughout the lockdown.
In a time of emergency like this, we have to summon courage and do our job our best, and we have equipped our members with kits. Yes, we are on 24 hours essential services presently, as we are talking now.
As the lockdown continues, it is obvious that not only violating petrol stations will incur the wrath of enforcement agencies, but also those who violate the stay-at-home order to curtail the ravaging virus.
Thank you, Lydia. And the lockdown over COVID-19 concerns has kept a vast majority of Abuja residents at home. However, those on essential services are compelled to go out. Let's join Leah Katun Babatunde on the streets, who looked out for services that have been put on hold. Leah, what do you have for us?
Now, thank you, Amina. First, I would like to say that if you have no business at all being outside your house, you just have to stay put in one place. Now, here is why. We are at the Popular Junction going to Wuse Market, and all the shopping centers here, the plazas, they are actually closed for business because most of them don't have any business being out as stipulated by the presidential directive for businesses that are non-essential to be closed while the country tries to find a solution to the COVID-19 problem. Now, most people have had to trek long distances, and right behind me there is the security checkpoint, and that very brown car you see there is broken down. But guess what? They will have to either find a means of fixing it, or the car remains there until they get the mechanics to come and do the car, or perhaps tow it to a safer place. Now, earlier we were on Ademola Adetokunbo Street, where we saw some essential shops open, but guess what? Most of those people who work there couldn't talk to us on camera, but behind the cameras they confidently told us their major problem is transport. However, we met Testimony. Testimony sells fruits, and she tells us how she had to trek to her selling points. Okay.
Before I could get to this place, I trekked. I managed to come out to Kabusa, so I trekked from Gudu to this place. Except if I beg somebody to help me, they will help you halfway, drop you, will be trekking again. The market is not actually moving, but there is nobody to buy. They are just coming one.
Her price has changed.
From where we are getting it, price has changed because there is no vehicle to convey to town because they come from east. So if we go buy costly when we come, but we have not changed or like that. Understand? In order to just to make market move. It used to be 100 naira before. Highest 150, highest 150 or 200. It depends how we get it.
Okay, so if you close today, how do you go home?
It's only by God's grace, because yesterday I found it difficult. But I never know how today will still be. But because it's perishable items and people need it to survive life, that's why I do come out.
So now, with transport being a major challenge for those who do not have cars and perhaps whose places of assignment do not have provisions for them to get to their place of work and back home, they would have to devise a means. And of course, if you look all through the roads, you'll see people are trekking. But we also saw a number of delivery bikes that are delivering food, essentially, they tell us, and most of them also didn't want to talk on camera on what they're doing and where they're going, but from our observations, actually, they're delivering basically meals to people in their homes. Now, that's the whole update we have for you for now, and if anything happens again, we're surely going to come back up. Thank you.
Interesting times indeed. We will take a short break, and Business Express will return shortly. Oil prices plummeted again, falling below $20 per barrel before a partial recovery to $22. This fall in price is essentially a threat to the viability of shale, and oil experts say would lead to a likely cut in U.S. oil production this year. How are the prices of oil this Wednesday and other commodities? Let's take a look. And in compliance with the federal government's directive on the cessation of movement in Lagos, Ogun and the Federal Capital Territory, the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) has activated its business continuity process. A circular released by SEC says staff of the Commission are working remotely while all its electronic channels remain open to provide the necessary support to capital market stakeholders. The statement says all public companies are required to continue to make materials disclosure investors on the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on their business operations. The statement added that debt issuance are also expected to continue to engage trustees to ensure that relevant disclosures are provided. SEC added that it will continue to engage and collaborate with all stakeholders to ensure that the capital market remains resilient. Investors lost 2.3 trillion naira in 1 month as uncertainty in the domestic and global economy triggered by the devastating effect of the raging COVID-19 crisis hit hard on the equity sector of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Market capitalization listed equities, which opened the month of March at 13.449 trillion naira, depreciated by 2.3 trillion naira to close the month at 11.1 trillion naira on the 31st of March. The OSHA index equally declined by 4,516.1 points or 21.2%. Now, this is despite impressive earnings and dividend announcement from listed companies. Meanwhile, stocks have continued to fall in the Nigerian Stock Exchange into the new month, which is also the first day of the second quarter. At the close of trade this Wednesday, the OSHA index dropped by 0.94% to close at 21,100.54 basis points, and market capitalization fell to 10.996 trillion naira. 154.55 million shares valued at 1.767 billion naira exchanged hands in 3,415 deals. Again, banking stocks dominated activity, led by Zenith Bank, Guarantee Trust Bank and FBN Holding. Stock markets across the globe continued to bleed. European markets slid 3.4% after U.S. warns of soaring coronavirus death toll. Muplang Dakok has details. And in view of the COVID-19 pandemic and the recent presidential relief package directive for micro enterprises in the country, the Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria, SMEDEN, has granted a 3-month moratorium extension to beneficiaries of its flagship program, the One Local Government, One Product, also known as OLOP. The statement from the Corporate Affairs Unit of the agency noted that the Director General of the Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria, Diko Umaru Rada, revealed that the 3-month moratorium extension on repayment will take effect from April 2020. The OLOP emphasizes bottom-top development approach, and the expected value addition is achieved through processing using modern production technologies, quality control through relevant certification or licenses, and product branding for domestic and foreign markets. SMEDEN's vision is to cover the 774 local government areas of the country under its OLOP program. So far, the agency has covered 218 local government areas with the support of the federal government. And this is where we ended this edition of Business Express. We value your feedback, so keep the comments, observations and suggestions coming. All previous episodes are available on YouTube on NTA's channel. You can also communicate with us on Twitter, and the handle is NTA News Now. Don't forget the hashtag BizX. Remember to always wash your hands with soap under running water as the world battles COVID-19. Be safe out there. Business Express returns on Friday. I am Amina Nujaim. Thank you for watching.